Thank you very much, Comsec. Would like to, of course, welcome our DA family and NIA family. Thank you very much for being here today. Of course, our Honorable Secretary Francisco Kiko Tiu-Laurel Jr., to our Administrator of NIA, Engineer Eduardo Guillen. Thank you very much po. Of course, to our Undersecretaries, Assistant Secretaries, Directors, and everyone present here today. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Of course, to our honorable members present here today, to our committee members, and to our other house members here. Full house po tayo. Fully packed po ang Nograles, and as expected po, it's always the case for DA and NIA, and we look forward to hearing all of your questions. And of course, our civil society partners and to our guests, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. The proposed budget of the Department of Agriculture for fiscal year 2026 is a clear reflection of our national priorities and a strong affirmation of the President's call, as delivered during his State of the Nation address, to achieve food security, empower our farmers and fisher folk, and strengthen the backbone of our economy, Philippine agriculture. For fiscal year 2026, the DA, including its attached agencies and corporations, is allocated 176.7 billion pesos, with major investments in rice programs, including 29.9 billion pesos for the National Rice Program, 30 billion pesos for the Rice Competitiveness Enhancement Fund, 10 billion pesos for the Rice for All program, and 11.2 billion pesos for buffer stocking. Beyond rice, allocations include 43.9 billion pesos for national programs in corn, high-value crops, organic agriculture, livestock, and fisheries, alongside 16 billion pesos for farm-to-market roads, 10 billion pesos for the Philippine Rural Development Project Scale-Up, and targeted funding for post-harvest mechanization, digital agriculture, food hubs, and credit support services. These programs represent an action plan for doable strategies to lower food prices, boost productivity, and ensure sufficiency across all staple commodities. Equally critical to this agenda is the National Irrigation Administration, a government-owned corporation that plays a vital role in promoting sustainable agricultural productivity through the development, operation, and management of irrigation systems nationwide. As the President reported in his SONA, libo-libong ektarya ng lupa ay nalagyan na ng patubig sa buong bansa at libo-libong ektarya pa ang patutubigan, underscoring the urgency of expanding irrigated areas, modernizing current systems, and embedding climate-resilient designs in our irrigation infrastructure. For fiscal year 2026, NIA has been allocated 45.07 billion pesos to be utilized for the development of 8,620 hectares of new service areas, the restoration of 6,319 hectares of existing irrigation systems, and the repair and rehabilitation of 533 kilometers of irrigation canals. These investments are integral to addressing urgent challenges: climate change, rising costs of production, global market disruptions, and the pressing need to reduce reliance on food imports. Together, the DA and NIA allocations form a unified strategy and action plan for agricultural modernization and food sufficiency. This committee expects from the Department of Agriculture and the National Irrigation Administration nothing less than tangible and measurable results: better harvests for our farmers, fairer prices for both our farmers and consumers, and a truly food-secure future for the Filipino people. Maraming salamat po. And before I yield the floor to our Honorable Secretary of the DA and our Administrator of the NIA, I would first like to recognize the Vice Chairpersons of the Committee on Agriculture who will be sponsoring, Committee on Appropriations rather, who will be sponsoring the budget of the Department of Agriculture and the National Irrigation Administration. For the DA, We have Vice Chairpersons Anna York Bondoc and Vice Chairperson Ronald Singson. And for NIA, Vice Chairperson Joseph Tan and Vice Chairperson Arthur Celeste.
So, good morning, everyone.
I believe they have been working closely with you during the pre-committee hearing deliberations as well as pre-committee briefings. So I'll assure you that both DA and NIA are in great hands. Talagang hinandpick po talaga sila for DA and NIA given the criticality of the two agencies, especially in ensuring food security. So we're okay? No. All right. With that, I would like to yield the floor to our Honorable Secretary of the Department of Agriculture, Secretary Francisco Tiu-Laurel Jr.
Good morning, Madam Chairperson Mika Suansing. To the Honorable Speaker, esteemed members of Congress, fellow public servants, valued partners in the private sector, and most of all, our resilient farmers and fisher folks. Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. As Secretary of Agriculture and as your fellow Filipino, I speak today with deep respect and admiration for those who wake before dawn, endure heat, rain, and risk, all to put food on our tables. The strength of our nation lies in their hands. The agriculture has long been the backbone of our economy, but the truth is plain to see. Our farmers and fisher folks remain amongst the most vulnerable in our society. Yes, agriculture contributes about 8% of our GDP and provides livelihood to over 10 million Filipinos. But despite their unmatched effort, many of our farmers still harvest hope more than profit. Many fisher folk cast their nets with uncertainty rather than security. Low incomes, high risk, limited access to technology, markets, and financing. This is not the future they deserve, and this is the reality we must change together. This year's proposed 6.793 trillion national budget reflects the administration's vision, and agriculture is a top priority. The Department of Agriculture is allocated 176.7 billion, a 13.6% increase from last year. But this is more than a statistic. It is a statement of intent. It says, we will not let our food producers be forgotten. We will uplift the countryside. We will invest in our farmers and fisher folks because they have invested their lives in us. Our Undersecretary for Policy and Planning, Yusek Asis Perez, will present the full details, but let me highlight the pillars of this budget. First is to boost productivity through irrigation, seeds, fertilizers, and science-based practices. The second would be modernize operations with machinery, post-harvest facilities, and digital tools. Then number three will be strengthen value chains through better logistics, cold storage, and farm-to-market routes and food hubs. The fourth would be expand market access through programs like Kadiwa ng Pangulo and Rice for All. And the last would be to protect livelihoods through the crop insurance, disaster preparedness, and accessible credit. Our goal is not to simply grow more food, but to ensure that every family has access to healthy, affordable meals, and that those who grow our food can live lives of dignity, not desperation. That let's make farming and fishing not just a means to survive, but a path to prosperity. Let us build a future where a child of a farmer no longer dreams of leaving the farm, but of improving it, where the next generation sees hope, not hardship, in the soil and in the sea. But let's be honest, funding alone is not enough. True transformation demands partnership. No single agency can do this alone. We need the full force of the local governments, cooperatives, fisherfolk organizations, the private sector, and the people themselves. This is our collective mission, to build a resilient, modern, inclusive agricultural sector, one that nourishes every Filipino and brings honor and prosperity to those who make that possible. Honorable members, this budget is not just about figures, it's about faces. The weathered hands of a farmer, the calloused palms of a fisher, the proud smile of a mother who can finally feed her children well. By approving this investment, we say, hindi kayo nag-iisa. We see you, we hear you, we are with you. Together, let us build a masaganang bagong Pilipinas where no Filipino goes hungry and no farmer is left behind. Maraming salamat po.
Go ahead, Yusek Perez. Please proceed with the presentation.
With the permission of the Chair. Thank you very much, Madam Chair, for succinctly summarizing the budget in your opening statement. And would like to, and as highlighted by our Secretary, we are here to tell the real picture. No sugarcoating, plain facts, plain figures. To the honorable members of Congress, good morning. Allow me to present the Department of Agriculture's expenditure program for 2026, offering context and details and necessary support the committee's review and deliberation. This is the outline of my presentation. Yes. This is the outline of my presentation. First, I will discuss the sector's performance. I will highlight some numbers showing details of sufficiency, the trade balance, or should I say trade imbalance, the poverty in agriculture and fisheries, the employment in agriculture and fisheries, and of course, we will highlight the major thrusts for 2026, showing the Philippine Development Plan, its relationship, the Philippine Agriculture Transformation System, which is now the framework for our work, the DA's program para sa masaganang bagong Pilipinas, which is the 4-year plan, 2024 to 2028, the criteria for evaluating plans and programs, and of course, the FY 2026 National Expenditure Program, and among others. Next slide, please. So, Madam Chair, ladies and gentlemen, members of Congress, this is the sector's performance in 2024 and 2025. Looking at 2023, most of the numbers that you'll see here has declined, 2023 to 2024. For instance, in the case of Palay, there was a decrease from 20.06 million metric tons to 19.9 million metric tons. In the case of corn, from 2023, 8.41 million metric tons to 8.14 million metric tons. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. In the case of coconut, the same can be said in the case of coconut, mango, and livestock, and except for chicken, which grew from 1.95 to 2.08. That is the only increase based on 2023 to 2024. Next slide, please. Now, showing here is where the production is happening. Livestock and poultry, showing here the livestock and poultry. Madam Chair, you might be looking at a different presentation, but we've changed it a bit to conform with the numbers. But that is included in the budget data. Okay, next slide, please.
Yusek Perez, for the benefit of the members of the committee and the other House members present here today, may you please furnish us copies of the new slides? Because it seems like some of these slides are not here in the presentation on hand.
We will.
Thank you.
Thank you. We will provide you. No.
Go ahead, please proceed. Thank you, Yusek Perez.
So, Now we look at the self-sufficiency ratio of some of our major commodities.